Ever wondered how a piece of the Horn of Africa became a British protectorate? Let's travel back to the late 19th century and uncover the story of British Somaliland. This isn't just a tale of maps and treaties, it's about ancient trade routes, strategic ambitions, and the Somali people caught in the middle of a global power play. Before the British flag was ever raised here, the northern Somali coast was a vibrant hub of commerce, ruled by various Somali sultanates and city-states. For centuries, ports like Xyla and Berbera were bustling with traders from across the Red Sea, Arabia, Persia, and India. They dealt in frankincense, myrrh, livestock, and other valuable goods. This region was part of a dynamic, interconnected world long before European empires turned their gaze upon it. The story of British involvement really kicks off with their presence in Aden, on the other side of the Gulf. Aden was a crucial coaling station for British ships on the high-tech new route to India via the Suez Canal, which opened in 1869. Think of it as a vital gas station on the world's busiest maritime highway. But this gas station needed supplies, specifically meat, to feed the garrison and the passing ships. Where did they get it from? The Somali coast, right across the water. This economic relationship was the foot in the door. Initially, Britain was content with informal trade. However, the geopolitical landscape of the late 19th century was changing fast. This was the era of the scramble for Africa, where European powers were carving up the continent among themselves, driven by a mix of economic greed, national prestige, and strategic maneuvering. France was establishing itself in Djibouti, Italy was eyeing the rest of the Somali coast. And even Ethiopia, under the powerful Emperor Menelik II, was expanding its own empire. The British started to worry. If another power took control of the Somali coast, their vital supply line to Aden could be cut off. The idea of a hostile navy sitting just across from their key naval base was a nightmare for British strategists. They weren't necessarily interested in colonizing the interior for its resources, but they absolutely had to secure the coast. So, from the 1880s, Britain began signing a series of treaties with the local Somali clans, primarily the Isaaq, Gadabursi, and Warsangeli. These weren't treaties of conquest, they were framed as treaties of protection. The British offered the clans protection from other external powers, like the Ethiopians or the French, in exchange for agreeing not to cede their territory to any other foreign power without British consent. For the Somali clan leaders, this seemed like a reasonable deal at the time. They were facing increasing pressure from a rapidly expanding Ethiopia and saw the British as a potential ally who could help them preserve their autonomy and trade links. They likely never imagined that these agreements would lead to decades of British administration. They saw it as a partnership of convenience, a way to secure their own interests in a turbulent world. By 1884, these treaties had solidified, and in 1887, the area was formally declared the British Somaliland Protectorate. It was a protectorate, not a colony, a distinction that was important in theory. The idea was that Britain was there to protect and administer foreign relations, while internal affairs were largely left to the traditional clan structures. A small administrative capital was established in Berbera, later moved to Hargeisa. The initial British presence was very light. A handful of officials, a small contingent of local police, and not much else. Their main goals were simple: keep the peace, ensure the flow of livestock to Aden, and prevent any other European power from gaining a foothold. They weren't interested in massive investment, building big cities, or transforming the nomadic society of the interior. This was a low-cost, high-strategy operation. But this period of relative quiet wouldn't last. The turn of the 20th century saw the rise of one of the most formidable anti-colonial resistance movements in African history, led by Syed Muhammad Abdullah Hassan, whom the British nicknamed the Mad Mullah. For 2 decades, he waged a fierce guerrilla war against the British, the Italians, and the Ethiopians, aiming to unite the Somali people under a single Islamic state and drive out all foreign powers. His dervish movement proved incredibly difficult for the British to defeat. They launched multiple military expeditions into the harsh interior, all of which failed to capture him. The conflict was brutal, devastating the land and causing immense suffering for the Somali people caught in the crossfire. It wasn't until 1920, with the use of new technology, specifically aerial bombardment by the Royal Air Force, that the Dervish forts were finally destroyed and the resistance was broken. After the Dervish War, British rule became more established. The administration expanded, infrastructure like roads was slowly developed, and a more formal system of governance was put in place. However, compared to other British colonies, investment in Somaliland remained minimal. Education was largely left to religious schools, and economic development was limited. The primary function of the protectorate, in London's eyes, remained strategic, a buffer zone and a supply depot for Aden. This protectorate status continued through World War II, which saw a brief but significant Italian occupation in 1940 before the British recaptured it in 1941. After the war, the winds of change began to blow across Africa. The idea of Somali nationalism, a unified state for all Somali-speaking peoples, gained powerful momentum. In British Somaliland, political parties emerged, demanding independence. The goal wasn't just to be free from British rule, but to unite with the neighboring UN Trust territory of Somaliland, the former Italian Somaliland, to the south. This dream of a greater Somalia was a powerful, unifying force. The British, seeing the inevitable, agreed to grant independence. And so, on June 26, 1960, the British Somaliland Protectorate became the independent state of Somaliland. For 5 short days, it was a sovereign nation. Then, on July 1, 1960, it voluntarily united with its southern counterpart to form the Somali Republic. The story of British Somaliland is a fascinating chapter in the history of the Horn of Africa. It began not with a grand imperial ambition, but with a strategic calculation to protect a sea lane. It was shaped by treaties of protection that evolved into colonial administration, and it faced one of Africa's longest and fiercest resistance movements. Its end was not a struggle for its own independence, but a voluntary union driven by a powerful dream of national unity. This legacy continues to shape the region today, especially in the context of the modern, self-declared Republic of Somaliland, which harks back to the borders and identity of this very protectorate. It's a powerful reminder of how decisions made over a century ago continue to echo into our present. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into history interesting, please give this video a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. See you next time.